In this case, two people face the exact same devastating setback. One crumbles, spiraling into months of despair, unable to move forward. The other, they feel the pain, acknowledge the difficulty, but somehow find a way to keep going, to adapt, to eventually thrive again. What's the difference between these two people? It's not intelligence, it's not luck, it's not even talent or resources. It's mental strength, the invisible force that determines whether you break under pressure or become unbreakable. Here's what most people don't understand. Mental strength isn't something you're born with. It's not a genetic lottery where some people win and others lose. Mental strength is a skill that can be cultivated and practiced, involving the ability to adapt to difficult life experiences through mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility. Over the next several minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to build this skill. We're going to explore the science-backed strategies that transform ordinary people into psychologically resilient individuals who can handle whatever life throws at them. This isn't motivational fluff. This is evidence-based psychology that has helped millions of people navigate trauma, overcome adversity, and emerge stronger than before. And here's why you need to watch until the end. I'm going to reveal the single biggest mistake people make when trying to build mental strength, a mistake that actually makes them more fragile, not stronger. Missing this could undermine everything else you do. Before we dive in, if you find value in this information, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below. Let me know what challenges you're facing right now. Your engagement tells us we're creating content that genuinely helps people transform their lives, and that motivates us to keep bringing you this life-changing research. Let's get started. Part 1. Understanding what mental strength really is. Most people completely misunderstand what mental strength means. They think it's about being tough, never showing emotion, or powering through everything without flinching. That's not mental strength. That's emotional suppression, and it's actually a recipe for psychological breakdown. True mental strength is the ability to successfully adapt to difficult or challenging life experiences through mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility. It's not about avoiding pain or pretending difficulties don't exist. It's about developing the capacity to face adversity, process it effectively, and continue moving forward with purpose. Think about a tree in a storm. The rigid tree that refuses to bend, it snaps. But the flexible tree that bends with the wind, it survives and stands tall after the storm passes. Mental strength is that flexibility. Here's what research tells us about mentally strong people. They prioritize emotions and well-being, access and grow internal strengths like emotional regulation and meaning-making, and nurture external support like community and connection. They don't deny their feelings, they manage them intelligently. Studies have found something fascinating. When we adapt to adversity, we develop cognitive and emotional tools that equip us to deal with what we may face in the future. Each challenge you overcome doesn't just get you through that specific situation, it builds your psychological immune system, making you more capable of handling the next challenge. Nobody is invulnerable, and all children and adults have their limitations and breaking points. But here's the encouraging truth. Almost all people have some resources which can be strengthened and built upon to greatly enhance their potential for mental strength. The question isn't whether you have what it takes to be mentally strong. You do. The question is, are you willing to develop it? Part 2. The foundation, developing a growth mindset. Everything I'm about to share rests on one foundational principle that will either amplify or undermine your mental strength. It's called mindset, and the research on this is absolutely groundbreaking. Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck has spent decades studying how our beliefs about ourselves shape our reality. She discovered that people hold one of two mindsets: a fixed mindset, the belief that human capacities are unchangeable, or a growth mindset, the belief that capacities can be developed over time. Here's why this matters for mental strength. People with a fixed mindset believe their basic abilities, intelligence, and talents are fixed traits, so their goal becomes to look smart all the time and never look dumb. People with a growth mindset understand that their talents and abilities can be developed through effort, good teaching, and persistence. When you face a setback with a fixed mindset, you interpret it as evidence of your fundamental inadequacy. I failed because I'm not good enough. When you face the same setback with a growth mindset, you see it differently. I haven't mastered this yet, but I can learn. That little word, yet, is transformative. Research shows that this isn't just positive thinking. Students who were taught that every time they push out of their comfort zone to learn something new and difficult, their neurons in their brain can form new, stronger connections, showed a sharp rebound in their grades, while students not taught this growth mindset continued showing declining grades. Your brain is literally plastic, meaning it can reorganize and form new neural connections throughout your life. When you believe you can grow, your brain actually grows in response to challenges. In the growth mindset, failure can be a painful experience, but it doesn't define you. It's a problem to be faced, dealt with, and learned from. This mindset creates what Dweck calls a powerful passion for learning. Instead of asking, why prove over and over how great you are, you start asking, how can I get better? But here's the critical warning. A growth mindset isn't just about effort. Students need to try new strategies and seek input from others when they're stuck. Just working harder at the same ineffective approach won't build mental strength. You need strategic effort combined with a willingness to learn and adapt. The first step to becoming mentally unbreakable is believing that you can become mentally unbreakable. Science confirms it's possible. The question is, are you willing to develop it? Part 3. Mastering emotional regulation. Here's where mental strength gets practical. You can believe in growth all you want, but if you can't manage your emotions when pressure hits, that belief won't help you. Emotion regulation is a set of learned, intentional skills for managing feelings wisely. It's not something we're born knowing how to do. Children and adults alike need modeling, instruction, and practice. Let me be clear about what emotional regulation is and isn't. It's not suppressing your emotions or pretending you don't feel things. Emotion regulation is the ability to exert control over one's own emotional state, involving behaviors such as rethinking a challenging situation to reduce anger or anxiety, or focusing on reasons to feel happy or calm. Research reveals something crucial about why some people handle stress well while others fall apart. People with good emotion regulation skills tend to have healthier behaviors and better overall health, while people who are emotionally dysregulated experience high levels of stress and anxiety that can lead to poor physical and mental health. So, how do you actually develop this skill? Let me give you 5 evidence-based strategies that work. Strategy 1. Emotional labeling. Research shows that naming an emotion reduces its intensity. Saying, I feel angry or I feel nervous activates the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for reasoning and regulation, and this calms activity in the amygdala, the part of the brain that reacts to threats. When you feel overwhelmed, pause and specifically identify what you're feeling. Not just, I feel bad, but I feel disappointed and anxious about this outcome. This simple act of labeling creates psychological distance from the raw emotion. Strategy 2. Cognitive reappraisal. Cognitive reframing involves questioning the first thought that comes to mind and exploring alternative perspectives. This strategy works because it disrupts negative thought loops that fuel anxiety and depression. Instead of, "I failed at this project," try, "This project didn't go as planned, but now I know what to do next time." You're not denying reality or being falsely positive. You're choosing a perspective that empowers rather than defeats you. Strategy 3. Breathing techniques. Breathing may sound too simple to matter, but it is one of the fastest ways to regulate the body's stress response. Practices like box breathing directly influence the vagus nerve, which connects to the nerves in our body that allow for relaxation. Try this right now. Breathe in through your nose for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts. Repeat this 5 times. Notice how your nervous system calms down? That's not magic, that's physiology. Strategy 4. Mindfulness and acceptance. In moments of intense stress, practice acceptance and mindfulness to calm the nervous system and regain emotional equilibrium. Practicing mindfulness helps you appreciate the simple pleasures of life, and when you face stressful situations, you can tap into those feelings of peace and satisfaction to help you self-regulate. Mindfulness doesn't mean you enjoy painful experiences. It means you observe them without judgment, creating space between the emotion and your reaction to it. Strategy 5. Values-based action. When emotions are high, people often get stuck in short-term relief behaviors like avoidance or lashing out. Values-based action means asking, what action aligns with my long-term goals and values? If you value connection, choosing to step away briefly and return to a conversation calmly serves you better than arguing in the heat of the moment. The science is clear. Regulation is learnable at any age. Every time you practice these strategies, you're strengthening the neural pathways that make emotional regulation easier and more automatic. Part 4. Building meaning and purpose. Here's something that separates people who survive adversity from those who thrive through it: meaning. Meaning and time perspective are qualities possessed by resilient individuals. Those who hold a sense of purpose and a future-focused mindset tend to report higher resilience and greater life satisfaction. When Viktor Frankl survived Nazi concentration camps, he observed that the prisoners who maintained some sense of meaning, who had a reason to survive, were the ones most likely to endure the unimaginable. He wrote that when we can't change our circumstances, we're challenged to change ourselves, to find meaning even in suffering. This isn't about toxic positivity or pretending terrible things are good. It's about the human capacity to extract meaning from any experience, no matter how painful. Positive emotions lay the foundation for long-term well-being by expanding our capacity to think clearly, solve problems, and build supportive relationships. When you can find purpose in your struggles, those struggles transform from pure suffering into growth opportunities. Ask yourself, what matters most to me? What kind of person do I want to become? How can this challenge help me develop qualities I value? A person facing a serious illness might find meaning in becoming an advocate for others with the same condition. Someone who experienced a devastating loss might channel their grief into supporting others through similar experiences. A professional setback might become the catalyst for pursuing work that truly aligns with their values. The meaning doesn't eliminate the pain, but it transforms how you carry it. Pain without meaning is unbearable. Pain with meaning becomes purposeful suffering that leads to growth. Part 5. Cultivating social connections. Here's a truth that individualistic culture often misses. Mental strength isn't built in isolation. Studies found that social support acts as a buffer against the negative impact of low resilience on mental health. A wide range of factors influence resilience, and it is largely agreed that genetics, personality, social support, and life experience all play a role. Research on veterans with PTSD found something revealing. Resilience had a role in mediating the association between unit support and the development of PTSD and depression, and even post-deployment social support played a role. Those with lower unit or social support had increased PTSD and depressive symptoms. Connection isn't a nice-to-have, it's fundamental to psychological resilience. But here's the key. It's not about having hundreds of superficial connections. It's about cultivating relationships where you can be authentic, where people see you at your worst and still support you, where you can give and receive help freely. Mental strength includes knowing when to ask for support. The strongest people aren't those who never need help. They're those who recognize when they need it and have the courage to reach out. Build your support network before you need it. Invest in relationships. Show up for others. Create connections based on genuine care, not just what people can do for you. Because when adversity strikes, and it will, these connections become lifelines. Part 6. Embracing challenges and discomfort. Now we come to what might be the most counterintuitive aspect of mental strength: actively seeking discomfort. Interventions rooted in positive psychology like self-compassion and relational repair have been shown to increase resilience and improve mental health, even among individuals with severe psychological distress. But mental strength isn't just built through therapy or reflection. It's built through exposure, through intentionally putting yourself in situations that challenge you. Think about physical strength. You don't build muscle by lifting weights you can already easily handle. You build it by progressive overload, gradually increasing the challenge. Mental strength works the same way. Operating in the space just outside of your comfort zone is the key to improving your performance. The passion for stretching yourself and sticking to it, even when it's not going well, is the hallmark of the growth mindset. This doesn't mean recklessly throwing yourself into overwhelming situations. It means strategically choosing challenges that stretch you without breaking you. Public speaking, if that terrifies you. Having difficult conversations you've been avoiding. Trying activities where you might fail or look foolish. Each time you face discomfort and survive it, you prove to yourself that you're more capable than you thought. You build what psychologists call self-efficacy, the belief in your ability to handle challenges. The mentally strong person doesn't avoid all discomfort. They develop a different relationship with it. They see discomfort as information, as a sign they're growing, as temporary rather than permanent. Start small. Do one thing today that makes you slightly uncomfortable. Tomorrow, do it again. Over time, your window of tolerance expands. What once seemed impossible becomes manageable, then easy, then boring. That's when you know you're ready for the next level of growth. Part 7. The post-traumatic growth mindset. Here's something remarkable that research has revealed. Rachel Yehuda's integrated recovery model challenges the traditional dichotomy between resilience and psychopathology. Her research demonstrates that individuals can be both resilient and symptomatic, especially in cases of post-traumatic stress disorder. You don't have to be symptom-free to be mentally strong. Yehuda views resilience as a process of consciously moving forward with insight and meaning, even when symptoms persist. This is liberating. You can struggle with anxiety, depression, or trauma responses and still be building mental strength. The goal isn't to become invulnerable. It's to become capable of continuing your life meaningfully despite vulnerabilities. Some people go even further. They experience what researchers call post-traumatic growth. Not just returning to baseline after trauma, but actually growing beyond where they were before. Post-traumatic growth includes the perception of benefits in different domains, like closeness in social relationships, possibilities in life, personal strengths, spiritual change, and appreciation of life after a traumatic event. People who experience tremendous loss often develop deeper compassion. Those who face serious illness often gain profound appreciation for life's simple moments. Individuals who survived violence sometimes discover inner strength they never knew they possessed. This doesn't mean trauma is good or that you should be grateful for terrible experiences. It means human beings have an incredible capacity to transform suffering into wisdom, pain into purpose. The question isn't, will I face adversity? You will. The question is, what will I do with that adversity? Will I let it break me, or will I let it break me open to new possibilities? Now, I promise to reveal the single biggest mistake people make when building mental strength. Here it is. They try to do it perfectly. They read about growth mindset and beat themselves up every time they fall into fixed mindset thinking. They learn about emotional regulation and feel like failures when they have emotional outbursts. They hear about resilience and interpret any struggle as evidence they're not resilient enough. This is self-defeating perfectionism masquerading as personal development. Carol Dweck has herself warned that we need to portray people as mixtures rather than having one mindset or the other. You will toggle between growth and fixed mindset. You will have days when emotional regulation fails. You will face challenges that temporarily overwhelm you. That doesn't mean you're failing at building mental strength. It means you're human. Mental strength includes self-compassion. Caring for the body through sleep, nutrition, and exercise is part of building resilience. Taking breaks when overwhelmed is strategic, not weak. Asking for professional help when you need it is wisdom, not failure. The goal isn't to never struggle. The goal is to struggle more effectively, to recover more quickly, to learn from each difficulty, and to maintain connection to your values even in hard times. Give yourself permission to be imperfect while still committed to growth. That combination, imperfection plus commitment, is where real mental strength develops. We've covered a lot of ground. Let's bring it all together. Resilience is shaped by internal and external forces, ranging from implementing therapeutic interventions like journaling and daily reflection practices to broader supports. Mental strength isn't one thing. It's a combination of mindset, emotional regulation skills, meaning-making, social connection, willingness to face discomfort, and self-compassion. You don't need to master all of this at once. Researchers recognize that it is not the nature of adversity, but how we deal with it that defines our resilience. Start with what resonates most. Maybe it's developing a growth mindset. Maybe it's learning one emotional regulation technique. Maybe it's reaching out to rebuild a connection with someone that matters to you. Every small step compounds over time. The person you'll be a year from now depends on the choices you make today. Will you choose to build mental strength, or will you wait until crisis forces the issue? Here's what I know. You already have more strength than you realize. You've survived every difficult day you've ever faced. You're here right now, seeking to grow, which means you already possess the fundamental quality of mental strength, the willingness to develop. The journey to becoming unbreakable isn't about never breaking. It's about learning to put yourself back together, stronger than before each time life tries to break you apart. If this video gave you insights that could transform how you handle life's challenges, do 3 things. First, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future content that builds on these principles. Second, leave a comment. Tell me which aspect of mental strength you need most to develop right now. Share your story. Your comment might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to keep going. Third, put one thing from this video into practice today. Don't just consume information, transform it into action. Choose one strategy and implement it. That's how knowledge becomes wisdom. The algorithm is about to suggest another video that can deepen your understanding of these concepts. Click on it. Keep building your knowledge. Keep developing your mental strength. Keep becoming the unbreakable version of yourself that you're capable of being. Your future self is counting on the choices you make right now. Make them count.